In the history of Kenyan politics, few names carry the weight, the reverence, and the sheer dread of John Njoroge Michuki. He was the last of a generation of administrators molded in the crucible of colonial rule, a generation that believed absolute order was the only path to progress. His reputation preceded him everywhere, earning him the nickname Kimendero, meaning one who tramples over. If you want to understand the man, you only need one quote, one that defined his career and still echoes today, and that is, if you rattle a snake, be prepared to be beaten. So today we dive into the life of the minister who redefined governance, exploring the three powerful dockets he used to enforce radical, controversial, and lasting reforms, and that is transport, internal security, and environment. John Michuki was not born into easy privilege. Born in 1932 in Murang'a, his father, a chief, died early, forcing the family into hardship, a struggle that many believe instilled in him a brutal practicality toward life and law. He was educated at the prestigious Mangu High School, where he formed a lifelong friendship with a young man named Michuki. His intellect earned him a scholarship to Oxford University, where he graduated in economics and public administration. He returned to an independent Kenya and rose fast, and by 1962, he became the first African District Commissioner in Nyeri, and by 1965, he was the permanent Secretary of Finance in Jomo Kenyatta's government, responsible for building the foundation of the nation's financial systems. But perhaps the most important detail to understand is the fear surrounding Michuki is his background. He entered public service during the final days of colonial rule, when Kenyans knew only brutality of imperial enforcement. He carried that uncompromising attitude forward. He was also a successful businessman, having served as the chairman of the Kenyan Commercial Bank, and notably as a founding director of what is now one of the country's largest financial institutions, Equity Bank. He was a man with deep, established roots in the country's power structure long before he became a cabinet secretary. In 2003, Michuki was appointed Minister for Transport and Communications. The sector inherited was a chaotic mess. High death rates, reckless driving, criminals operating as crew, and a culture full of impunity. Michuki decided to hit the industry at its weakest point, and that was lawlessness. And in 2004, he introduced a stringent set of amendments to the Traffic Act, immediately nicknamed the Michuki Rules. These were his stringent measures. Rule number 1 was that every public service vehicle had to be fitted with speed governors, keeping the maximum speed of 80 kilometers per hour, and every single passenger seat had to have a safety belt. And rule number 2 was that all drivers and conductors were to wear uniforms and prominently display badges and their photographs in the vehicle. They had to undergo vetting for a certificate of good conduct. And rule number 3 was that every vehicle must stick to their licensed routes and be painted with a continuous yellow band and never carry beyond their certified capacity. Overcrowding became a crime enforceable by the seatbelt rule. No seatbelt, a fine for both passenger and operator. But what was the reaction of the matatu sector? So matatu operators went on strike, attempting to blackmail the government into withdrawing the rules. And Kenyans, on the other hand, walked for miles to work and schools. But Michuki did not blink. He deployed police with orders to enforce the law to the latter. This political will, backed by massive public support fed up with the chaos, crushed the resistance within weeks. The impact was dramatic and immediate. Government statistics showed a significant reduction in road accidents in the first year. For a brief golden period, the roads were orderly and fatalities dropped, proving Michuki's core philosophy of discipline enforced ruthlessly can create order. However, no Michuki story is complete without addressing the complexity. As compliance set in, studies later suggested that the rules sometimes failed due to corruption. Police officers used the numerous new regulations as additional leverage points for collecting bribes, which eventually led to the lax enforcement we see today. Some also pointed to a conflict of interest, alleging that companies connected to Michuki's family were awarded the lucrative contracts of installing speed governors and seatbelts. From 2005 to 2007, Michuki was moved to the crucial docket of internal security and provincial administration. This was a period defined by rising menace of organized crime and the violent Mungiki sect. His measures were arguably his most controversial, viewing the Mungiki as terrorists. He issued a highly criticized and written shoot-to-kill order against them. The result was a brutal crackdown that saw the disappearance and alleged extrajudicial killings of 100 of young men in central Kenya. But Michuki's response to human rights concern was unwavering. He would not tolerate threats to the state. But his most infamous moment in this docket came in 2006 with the Standard Media Group raid. Armed, masked men, later claimed to be foreign machineries acting on government orders, stormed the media house, destroying equipment and seizing materials. When journalists pressed Michuki for an explanation for the attack on media freedom, he delivered this iconic line.
You want to rattle a snake, you must be prepared to be bitten by it. Sir, please English.
If you rattle a snake, be prepared to be beaten. This action, though widely condemned, cemented his reputation as the one man in government who would always act regardless of the consequences or the legal niceties. His final major posting from 2008 until his death was as Minister for Environment and Mineral Resources, a docket many viewed as a political soft landing. Michuki, however, saw it as a newer frontier for his brand of ruthless efficiency. His main initiative was the Nairobi River Rehabilitation and Restoration Program. He ordered the immediate relocation of illegal settlements and small industries dumping waste directly into the river. He enforced strict environmental regulations, making polluters pay. He personally led inspection teams wading into filthy water and setting an example for his staff and public. The results were astonishing. Within a few years, the decades-old choking filth began to recede. The Nairobi River, for the first time in a generation, showed signs of life. He was also a staunch advocate for reclamations of Kenya's vital water towers. such as the Mau forests, pushing for evictions and conservation measures despite intense political pressure. John Njoroge Michuki died on February 21, 2012, at the age of 79, while still serving in the cabinet. His legacy is one of stark contrasts: a brilliant administrator, a successful businessman, and a man who brought sorely needed order to key national sectors, but also a figure accused of authoritarianism, media suppression, and sanctioning extrajudicial force. However, you view him, his impact is undeniable. The fact that years after his death, Kenya's officials still threaten to bring back the Michuki rules whenever transport chaos erupts. That one speaks volume on itself. His name is synonymous not just with rules, but with enforcement, a political virtue that remains elusive for many of his successors. He was the minister who proved that with enough political will, even the most deeply entrenched systems of chaos and corruption could be tamed. John Michuki, the man who was hated by criminals, respected by the public, and feared by everyone.